Hello everyone, Kia ora. Welcome to the exclusive webinar on exploring master's study opportunities at EIT in New Zealand, partnered with Immigration Advisors New Zealand Limited. My name is Priyanka Rakshit Amin, and I'm the Manager of Client Relations at Immigration Advisors New Zealand Limited, and I will be your host for today's session. So before we get started, I would just like to go over a few housekeeping rules just before we get started. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please use the Q&A feature. This helps us keep track of all your questions and ensure none of them are missed. We will have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And if we run out of time, your questions is not, and if your questions are not answered during the webinar, we will follow up with you via your email. With that said, now let's dive into our presentation again. All right. So who are we? We Immigration Advisors New Zealand Limited, we are based out of Auckland in New Zealand. And if you see the building on the right is where our office is located. We sit on the 6th floor. The entire 6th floor is ours. And we consist of 4 licensed immigration advisors. Our team's strength lies in its diversity, having helped clients from over 30 countries, offering tailored immigration solutions to meet each individual's unique needs. We are supported by a diverse staff representing over 6 different nationalities. We bring a deep understanding of various cultures and backgrounds to our work. Collectively, we possess over 20 years of experience in the immigration industry, guiding individuals and families through the immigration process. Our reach extends far beyond New Zealand, with local presence in key locations including India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Philippines, Bangladesh, and the Middle East, which helps us to serve clients worldwide. We are proud to be the most reviewed licensed immigration advisors in New Zealand and showing how committed we are doing a great job and making sure our customers are happy. Now, as I speak about our local presence, we are fortunate to have a few of our local representatives here with us right now. So first we have Mr. Gyanendra Manjoshi. He's based in Nepal and heads our operations there, while also being the owner of Informatics. Mr. Joshi has multiple offices in Nepal and he is established since 2007. We are grateful to have him here. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Gyanendra Manjoshi. Mr. Joshi, would you like to say hi to our participants?
Hi everyone.
Hello.
All right, thank you. The next we have Farhana. Farhana is based out of Bangladesh. She is our local presence based out of Bangladesh, who is there to answer all your queries and support you while you are based in Bangladesh. Farhana, would you like to say hello and speak few words with our participants?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm based in Bangladesh. If anyone have any kind of queries, I'm always there to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Farhana. The next we have our local presence based out of Sri Lanka, Ms. Pramodini Jailat. Pramo is whom we also call as Pramo. So Pramo, would you just like to say hi to our participants?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm based out of Colombo. And if you have any queries, any assistance is required, you can always come back to me through the information shared after the presentation or after the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramo. All right. With that said, now we will dive into to our speakers, and I would like to introduce our distinguished speakers for today. So firstly, we have Mr. Siva Gutta, who is the International Market Development Manager at EIT. Mr. Siva brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in international education and market development. He has been instrumental in fostering relationships and creating opportunities for students worldwide to access quality education at EIT. We are delighted to have him here with us today to share his insights and expertise. Would you like to say hello to all our participants, Mr. Siva?
Hello, everyone at Immigration Advisors and the teams out in Nepal and Sri Lanka. Good to be here talking to you today. And Yeah, hopefully, EIT goes by the slogan, experience for a lifetime. Hopefully, this is a little bit like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siva. So the next we have is our very own Miss Vandana Rai, our Senior Licensed Immigration Advisor with Immigration Advisors New Zealand Limited. Miss Vandana is a seasoned professional with extensive experience in guiding students through the immigration process. Her in-depth knowledge of immigration policies and commitment to providing personalized advice has helped countless students successfully navigate their journey to New Zealand. We are thrilled to have her with us today to provide valuable information on the immigration process and answer your questions. Ms. Vandana, would you like to say hello to our participants?
Thanks, Priyanka. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot to all the attendees for joining in, and a big thanks to Mr. Sivakuda for giving us all the information today. I would definitely be tackling all the immigration-related questions and the immigration pathways post completion of the study towards the end of this webinar. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Vandana. All right, so as we welcome our speakers, now we will move next. So now let's take a moment to outline the scope of today's webinar. As you can see, we have a comprehensive agenda that covers various important aspects of studying at EIT. So what we will be discussing is the program description and curriculum overview, admissions criteria and application processes, the student support services provided. Now, we understand that studying abroad can be challenging. Therefore, we will be highlighting the range of support services which is available to you at EIT. Then career opportunities, career outcomes and the options, which is one of the key consideration when you choose a program, is what you think about is first the career opportunities, how it opens up well for you. So we will be discussing this as well. And we will also share some stories of alumni achievement. And the last point that we are talking about is the skill migration pathway. So we will provide information on the skill migration pathway through our licensed immigration advisor. This section will be particularly beneficial for those who are looking to settle in New Zealand after completing their studies. So we will explain the requirements and the process involved in obtaining a work visa and eventually permanent residency. With that said, now I would like to pass over our virtual stage to our first speaker, Mr. Sivakuda. So I'm stop sharing my screen and you could take it over whenever you're ready, Mr. Siva.
Thank you, Priyanka. Let me just start with using a short, quick presentation before I get into the curriculum and the programs that we offer. I will anyway be focusing only on the masters when I talk about the programs, but a bit about EIT in a quick short form would be interesting. And of course, it'll also have some colorful pictures for you to see because I'm going to share a presentation. So give me a moment to do that now. I hope you can see the screen now.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Right. So as I said, EIT gives you what we believe is an experience of a lifetime. And that's what we hope our students get out of that. And we've got a huge alumni.
So, Mr. Siva, if I can just interrupt you, it's not coming on the full screen yet.
Okay, it is on the full screen here.
So we can see the, Priyanka, would you be able to?
Right. So do you want to change the mode to the slideshow?
Yeah.
On top of your dashboard, slideshow.
Is that better now? It is on the slideshow mode.
Yeah. All right. We are still able to see it in the presentation mode, not in the slideshow, but that should be all right.
Yeah, let's just continue with it because there's not much in the slides for you to see or read. It's more about what I say. So, and it's a pretty small thing. Okay. So don't worry about that too much. I'll share the presentation anyway at some for you to use at a future point. Right. So
great.
Coming back to this. So this is EIT's as I was saying, experience of a lifetime is what we believe we offer our students, because it's not just about the study, but the whole New Zealand experience, which we want to provide them. And there is no better place to do that than a couple of our campuses. So while we welcome you to New Zealand, EIT has its campuses in Napier, Gisborne, and of course the big city of Auckland. But it is the regional presence in Napier, which is what is very important to us, because we believe that's where the real good New Zealand experience happens. All right. So we encourage students to come out to the regions, study from the regions, but then the big city, the business city of New Zealand, the big city is Auckland, and everybody really wants to be there, because most of the students coming from the regions that you are in are not coming only for the study, but because they want that good career and they want some good job market outcomes. And Auckland is ideal for all of that, right? So recognizing that, EIT, which is basically short for Eastern Institute of Technology, we are based on the Eastern Coast, decided to have a campus in Auckland and to offer programs which are specifically relevant only to international students. So the Auckland campus is called our graduate school, whereas where we offer only programs above the graduation level and only for international students. The Napier and Gisborne campuses have a much wider profile. As you can see from the name, EIT is an institute of technology. So therefore, we have a lot of programs right from the lowest level in trades through to the master's level. Interest for international students may be at the higher level, but we have almost 10,000 students studying in Napier and Gisborne, programs at a very different level, most of them not of interest or even being offered to the international students. So those are done by the domestic students, right? So this is what EIT is about. Established in 1974, the focus of an institute of technology is to provide what we call applied learning, learning which is relevant to the job market and not simply about getting a degree and gaining knowledge. The idea is to learn how to use that knowledge so that you can add value to the industry in which you are working. And as long as we have to do it in that manner, we have to showcase the ability to learn practically, work with your hands. And that's what makes a big difference when these international students come to New Zealand to study, gain those skills. And when they have skills, they are job ready. So all EIT programs are, this is our library and the campus in Napier. That's what I'm showcasing here. We have students from many different countries, more than about 1,200 students currently studying. Of course, the bulk of them are from the South Asian markets. We have very good number of students coming from Germany, from Brazil, and most of them come and do some of the study abroad programs. We have a number of institutional arrangements from where they come, do part of the course and go back. EIT also has a campus in China, not one, two, and we do a lot of bachelor degree programs there. That's not featured in the presentation, but more than 1,500 students are studying in China itself directly. That is in addition to what we do in New Zealand, right? So so this is the range of programs, but if you really look at the programs of interest to the Indian market or the subcontinent market, to be more precise, it is all about getting the level 9 courses. You know, the NZQA has got uses levels to measure performance. So when you do a program at a master's level, it's called a level 9 program. Level 8 is the PG, and any degree is a level 7 program. Level 4, 5, 6, and 7. That is year 1, 2, and 3. But the focus of today's presentation is going to be what we offer at the level 8 and level 9. Therefore, I've tried to focus on the key programs and the key schools which offer master's degrees at EIT. What's being offered currently and what there are a couple of new programs coming up, and I'll talk to you about that also. That's not there in this list, but we have about 5 or 6 key master's programs currently, and 3 more coming up possibly next year, right? They come basically from the School of Business, the School of Computing and IT, the School of Health Science, and the School of Wine Science, right? All of these masters are offered both in our campuses in Auckland and in Napier. The Auckland campus actually offers only the masters, no other program, and the PG diploma, which is nothing but the first year of the masters. Okay. The PG diploma, therefore, is 120 credits of study, year 1 of the masters. The masters is offered as a 1.5-year program, as you can see there, but we also offer a research-based 2-year program, that is a 240 credit masters. But the bulk of the students target coming for the 180 credit, 1.5-year masters, and we offer these masters in these 3 key schools. The number one, the most popular masters, our flagship program actually is currently the Masters of IT. The Masters of IT is offered in Auckland and in Napier. The more popular masters in terms of number of students applying is the Masters of Applied Management, mainly from the subcontinent. There's a lot of demand now coming into the Masters of Digital Business Management. Students moving from applied management to this program is increasing because of the demand and the structure of the course, which we will get into shortly. One of the key areas for New Zealand as a country is this area of supply chain and logistics. Okay. If you really think about New Zealand as a country for study, and then think of working in New Zealand and contributing to the economy in New Zealand, being in supply chain and logistics makes a lot of sense, because New Zealand is a country which is far away, out of the way of the whole world. But in terms of GDP and in terms of being in the economic sense, we were in the top 10 in the OECD before the pandemic. Okay, so what that means is we do a lot of business. We are a rich country, and this business does not happen in New Zealand. The population of New Zealand is just 5 million, right? About 1 million households. There is no market to do anything in this. It's too small to become in the top 10 of the OECD. So how did New Zealand companies come to that level? Mainly by exporting their products and their services. So the world is the market for most New Zealand companies, and therefore understanding international business, understanding how to use technology to be able to communicate with your customers and partners, and most importantly, understanding how to reach them and make sure your products and your services are available through the supply chain system at the right time becomes very important. And that's why we have developed masters in applied management, digital business management, supply chain, and logistics management. Okay. There is one more masters that we offer, which is actually shown under the wine school, but it is actually part of the business school also. This is the Masters of Wine Business Management. This program is actually a mix of applied management, digital business management, and supply chain and logistics management, with a specific focus on the wine industry. The wine industry is very big in New Zealand, contributes $3 to $4 billion to the New Zealand economy. It is very big in the Napier region. Therefore, as an institute of technology owned by the government, we have an onus to support the regional industries, and we do therefore courses in wine science, teaching how to grow grapes, viticulture, and how to make wine, but that's the bachelor degree programs. But we also developed this Masters of Wine Business Management because there is a niche area where you need understanding of the business skills to be able to actually promote, sell, and ensure that the wine industry does well from the business perspective. And that's what that course is about. Okay. But as I said, the flagship program is the Masters of IT. We do a lot of business with the Masters of IT from the subcontinent. It is regarded as one of our best programs in terms of what we call job market outcomes. It's almost 100%, and all students who come for this course have done really well for their career. In the last few years, the health school from EIT has become very popular because we offer a Masters of Health Science in addition to the Bachelor of Nursing. Basically, our health school is a nursing school and a sports science school. And we started this Master of Health Science, which allows a lot of people from the subcontinent who have qualifications in the health industry to be able to come to New Zealand. Very hard for them to do that otherwise. A doctor doesn't have a real clear pathway to come into New Zealand. So we enabled that pathway through the Master of Health Science, where these graduates of health from different fields can come to New Zealand, understand the New Zealand health system, and become a part of that health system by working in that sector and learning how it works. Okay. So these are the range of masters. EIT also offers 9 or 10 bachelor degrees actually, and of which 3 or 4 are very popular: the Bachelor of Nursing, the Bachelor of Computing Science, and the Bachelor of Business, where we get a lot of students, mainly from Nepal and Sri Lanka actually, and now in recent times, even from the south of India in a big way, right? Then bachelor degree programs are offered only at our Napier campus or Gisborne, but not in Auckland, because the Auckland campus is designed to be a master's program only kind of provision. Okay. So this is what we offer in terms of courses. I'll tell you a little bit more detail about each program now, but before that, let me finish off the rest of the presentation. So what is it that makes these courses valuable to the students who are interested to study? It all depends on what the students want, right? They don't want just simply knowledge. They want to be able to get good job market outcomes. So therefore, one of the key factors that we try to focus on is to make sure that all our programs are work ready, leading into good job opportunities. In order to make sure that it is work ready, we have to definitely make sure that there is a lot of practice. The only way to become work ready is to learn to do, not to learn to think and learn the subject alone, but learn to do. So which means our courses are applied in nature or practical, right? The moment you say our courses are practical, we cannot have 400 people in the class, like in a university, right? You can't have an auditorium where you can teach theory here. Being practical and applied led, we have to have smaller classes. Smaller classes have certain other benefits. The benefit is that the student gets supposedly much more personal attention. They can focus on individual projects and therefore develop skills at a much faster pace than anywhere else. If you consider doing this program in the regions as we encourage, not just Auckland, there is definitely an added advantage in terms of the overall cost, because the cost of living in Napier is way, way lower than the cost of living in, say, Auckland, which is the big city. Okay. Work opportunities are good across the country. And as Vandana madam is going to tell you later, Immigration New Zealand provides either a 1 or a 3-year post-study work visa for students who do a level 8 or a level 9 course, and therefore they do have the ability to stay back and look for work. They never said you have to work in Napier or in Auckland. They want you to work in New Zealand, they want you to contribute to the economy, but anywhere in the country. And there are great opportunities across the country, and EIT does try to do a lot of work in this area to be able to ensure that you get jobs, not just in Auckland or Napier, but in other places. I have a lot of graduates who live in Wellington, which is where I live, as a matter of fact. Okay. So we have, unfortunately, today he's not been able to come, but we have a professional what do you call, a rec person who takes care of the students' employment outcomes. And Brendan has done a wonderful job in ensuring that all our students, especially from the Auckland campus, have got beautiful outcomes from the work perspective. He's also developed a good alumni. We have more than 3,000 students who have studied in EIT over the last 10 years, based out of different cities, and all of them are working together to support the new students who are coming, to help them into jobs and wherever they require support. Okay. Many of our programs are recognized internationally because all our programs, as a matter of fact, are approved by the NZQA. New Zealand Qualifications Authority is the government body which recognizes these programs, and all programs approved by NZQA are accepted internationally for further study also, or work market outcomes. So that's what we try to offer our students: work-ready programs, a lower cost of living, more practice-based learning, a better lifestyle, because smaller group can get better services from the team that is there. And at the end of the day, the biggest focus is on giving them highly recognized qualifications which deliver high job market outcomes. So we have a lot of students. I don't want to get into this slide anymore because this will take us out into the internet. And many of these students have given feedback on how well they have done in the programs and how well they have succeeded. EIT International has got a YouTube channel, which where you can go and look at what these students are saying. There are a number of students who have been extremely successful, many in Auckland, many in Napier, many in Wellington, some in Christchurch, so all over the place, and they're all doing really well. And these people come mainly from the masters, but also from the bachelor degrees in a big way, right? One of the reasons why I just wanted to highlight this now, why our students have been successful, is not just because of EIT. It's also because of people like you recognizing and delivering the right kind of students to EIT. New Zealand gets the rap every once in a while with immigration denying visas left, right, and center. And one of the reasons provided by immigration: bad quality of applications, bad quality of students, bad documentation, right? A fear of fraudulent documentation. So funnily, at EIT, it rarely happens. Never, as a matter of fact, because we have very strict criteria to take a student, and we have very few agents who actually, in 99% of the cases, meet that criteria. So our student, the percentage of conversion is way higher than many other institutions, and the quality of the students are much better. These students, in many cases, already have got very good work experience, good qualifications, and they are highly motivated. Many of them are already married, have families, and they have a clear goal of doing well for themselves. And such students cannot be stopped. They will do well wherever they are. All we do is to show them a pathway, give them a guideline, and provide them the opportunity to convert their current skills, add to that, and become capable of doing things in the New Zealand way, in the Kiwi way. That's all we have to do. And I have to thank all of our agents, including you and your team, for providing us with these students. And hopefully, you will send a lot more after this session. Thank you so much. That I finish my session with that. But I do have to talk about the programs. We can come to that after, if you have any questions on this after this. Ready to take questions at the moment about the general programs and any information that I might have missed, which you still need to know.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siva, for giving us an insightful on the EIT programs, touch basing upon the academic requirements and also about the support that EIT would provide to them. So while we have just spoken about EIT and the programs that are being offered at EIT, we would now like to touch base upon the skill pathway, skill migrant pathway. So I would just like to share my screen again, so that a licensed immigration advisor would be able to talk about the highlights of the master's courses. So Ms. Vandana, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thanks, Priyanka. Thank you so much, Mr. Sivaguda. The details that you've given on the course and the options were really insightful, and I'm sure the attendees would have benefited a lot. I wanted to highlight the immigration. Just give me a
I'm
I wanted to let you know the highlights of the master's courses. What are the immigration benefits, pathways if somebody decides on doing a master's program? So the first thing is any master's level 9 course will lead to a 3-year post-study work visa post completion of the course if it's a 30-year program studying in New Zealand. And a 1-year PG diploma level 8, 30 weeks studying in New Zealand will lead to 1-year post-study work visa. So the good thing is both these courses have open work visas wherein the students can work for any employer anywhere in New Zealand in any occupation. Now, the master's courses duration can vary from 1 year to 2 years, 1.5 years in between, um, depending upon the credits of the course. It could be 120 credit masters, 180 credit masters, and the duration, as Mr. Siva has conveyed, could range between a year to two. And the if somebody is doing a master's, the partners are also eligible to apply for a partnership-based work visa. And on a partnership-based work visa, the partners have open work conditions and they can also be self-employed. Dependent children of master students have the option of applying for a dependent child visitor visa or a dependent child student visa, and they can study on a domestic fees. That means they can study without a fees, without a cost here in New Zealand. A master study also has a very streamlined pathway going on towards the residence visa. So currently we have 6-point skill migrant category residence visa, we have green list pathways, and we have sector agreement. So anybody who's doing a master's gets 5 points for completing a master's degree. And then they need to have 1 more year of claimed with a skilled work experience and then can go ahead and apply for their skilled migrant category residence visa. Or depending upon the course that the person may be doing, they may be eligible for a sector agreement. They may also be eligible for a green list path moving on to a residence. So definitely one path or more than one path leading towards a residence visa for somebody who's doing a master's. Mm, Master students can also study while they're studying, can work part-time and during their course and full-time during their scheduled vacations or summer vacations. And few of the courses in demand, definitely nursing, health sciences, IT, few of the courses that Mr. Sivaguda has already conveyed. If we could move on to the other slide, please, Priyanka. Yeah, giving a bit more details on the options for partners and dependents visa options. So anybody who is doing a level 9 course, so partners are eligible for partner of a student work visa. For somebody who's doing a level 9 course or above, or even doing a level 7 or a level 8 qualification, which is on the Appendix X, that means it's listed on the green list, or is eligible for a post-study work visa. For partners of students who are enrolled in a program which is an undergraduate qualification or or a level 7 which is not on the green list or on the appendix 13, the partners can still apply for a visa, can apply for a partner of a student visitor visa, so the family could be together. The good thing about New Zealand is Immigration New Zealand does believe in family being together as a unit. So if whether it is eligibility for a work visa or a visitor visa, partners will always have an option of being together while one of the partner is studying. A dependent child student visa, if the partner is eligible for a work visa, the dependent children can then apply for a dependent child student visa if they are aged more than 5 years, and they can study as a domestic fee paying student for all the secondary education and not for the tertiary studies, though, from school year 1 to school year 13. And the dependent child visitor visa if the child is less than 5 years. Child, if it's less than 5 years, also have an opportunity for getting 20 hours a week free preschool education while they are, here in New Zealand, while one of the parent is studying. So these are the options we have for partners and children, for somebody who decides on doing a master's program, and happy to take on questions as they come. Thanks. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving us the information with regards to the partners and dependents visa options, and also highlighting or touch basing upon the pathway that they could proceed ahead with. So, with that said, now we will move to the next segment, which is our Q&A. And what I would do is now, since the floor is open for questions, I will start picking up one by one, and one of you could start answering those. So, the first question that we have today is, uh, bachelor degree in dental, can I apply? Okay. Someone is asking, if they pursue a bachelor degree in dental, can they apply for Master of Health Science or not? Mr. Siva, would you be able to take that one?
Definitely, they can apply for the Master of Health Science. There are one couple of areas that I did not touch on when I did my presentation and gave you the information. One is, sorry, one is about the entry criteria. Okay, the entry criteria to get into EIT is rather strict. We do not allow students to come in unless they have a minimum of a first class. In New Zealand, the first class is 65%. Therefore, the health school prefers that students have 65% and above. Doesn't matter whether it is an MBBS course or a dental program or just a physiotherapy course or just a mental health course or whatever degree that they are doing. They need to meet that requirement to be eligible. So if this student who of dental surgery or dental science wants to continue on and do health sciences at a later stage, you make sure that you get 65% and above. You will have very good opportunities. You need to also meet English language requirements to do any master's program in New Zealand. You will need an IELTS score of 6.5 or an equivalent PTE score 58 or 59 and above. The higher the better, because that shows that your ability to communicate is good. And in the health sector, that is very, very important, because in many of these areas, you might be in a clinical situation talking to a patient who may be having other problems, because of which communication barriers can come. So you have to make sure you are good in communication. So if you get your 65% and your communications and English language skills are good, you've got a degree in health, could be dental science, could be a doctor, could be a nurse, physiotherapist, occupational therapist, psychology, many areas, with the exception maybe of social services and things like that, you are fully eligible. You are not eligible if you have done a Bachelor of Applied Science or biology or zoology, because we need that the student has a good knowledge of anatomy, good knowledge of physiology, good knowledge of prescribing medicine, and the ability, they already should have the ability to have interacted with patients. That's what a dental person or a doctor or somebody would be doing, talking to individual patients. The Master of Health Science differs in the sense that it doesn't teach you to work with individual patients. Its focus is on health across the community. You are looking at issues of health which can affect the whole community, like what happened when the pandemic happened, right? What do you do if, how do you support people to be able to get good understanding of diabetes and how to sort out issues around that? What about what is digital health? How do you take care of the elderly, geriatric care, child care? You don't actually individually work with a patient, but you start looking at policies, initiatives, strategies, methods in which you can deliver health in the New Zealand health system for the whole community. That's what the purpose of this course is for. So everybody, a dental science student, a doctor or a nurse, everybody will benefit, because what they learned back in India and the other countries is how to treat an individual patient in a specific area. What they learn here is how what they do affects the whole community, how they can improve, have an understanding of that, and therefore deliver health in a better manner.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Siva. So the next question that we have is, for business management students, how likely they can find a job as a manager to get that 1 point without prior New Zealand work experience, as most executive jobs, not managerial, comes under ANSCO level 4. Yeah,
There are two parts
uh,
to this. One, I think Vandana should answer.
should be able to cover. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll take this one. So, one thing which I would like to clarify here is when you have to claim points for your skilled work experience, it doesn't necessarily has to be related to what you've studied here in New Zealand. You could you could have a skilled work experience with something that you've previously worked in, something that you've previously studied also. And it's not that only managerial jobs are in ANSCO 1, 2, and 3. There are a lot of other jobs also which are in ANSCO 1, 2, and 3. Something as simple um, as a personal assistant, which is not really a managerial kind of role, is also comes in INSCO 1, 2, or 3. So how we tell our clients to act or to see or to reach the fastest is, if you think you're getting a job, if you think that the job has the potential to pay you median wage rate, which is the other requirement for the employment to be considered as skilled or work experience to be considered as skilled, feel free to share with us the job the employment contract and the job duties, because it's not always just the title which you have to see. It is also individual specific duties and how well the duties are aligning with which ANSCO. So it's a bit of a complicated path. So if you think you're getting a job, feel free to share with us. We will check whether it's a skilled employment or not, or what other employment could be considered skilled. Don't just rely on the job title, because that can go wrong. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So the next question that we have is, are there any scholarships or financial aid options available for international students? Mr. Siva, this one is for you.
This is a tough question to answer, because currently we do have a scholarship, and that scholarship is not likely to be there in the year 2025. But EIT does have 4 intakes. So we do have an intake in October where students applying for a master's 180 credits and studying outside Auckland, that means in Napier, in our case, would be eligible to get a scholarship of $10,000 New Zealand dollars on their total student fee. The student fee for every master's is fixed is the same across the country. It is 47,750, I think, and you get a $10,000 scholarship on that. If you decided that you want to study in Auckland and not in Napier, then the scholarship is a lot lesser, because the New Zealand government is encouraging people to study and work all over the country, not just in Auckland. So at that time, your scholarship is $3,000. Okay, but these scholarships that I'm talking of are going to matter only for the next one intake, right? From 2025, this information is still not fully confirmed, so I can't really guarantee it. But the plan is that all institutes of technologies are going to scrap the scholarship, but the fees are likely to come down to what fees are there after the scholarship, plus a little bit more. How much is the little bit more? I don't know. So I would expect that a student studying in Napier currently after scholarship pays 37,500. I would expect that they would be doing something around 40,000. So the scholarship is already built in. That's what it is in 2025 onwards.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siva. So, while we even have our local representatives over here, would you all like to ask any questions for Anna, Pramod, Mr. Joshi? Please feel free
Yes.
to ask any questions if you'll have any. Yeah, Pramo.
Yes. I would like to know whether can EIT provide guidance on how Sri Lankan educational qualifications align with the programs that you offer at your institution, Mr. Shiva?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if we are focusing on the masters, we need to make sure that the student has got a bachelor degree. So Sri Lankan students who have a bachelor degree and who that degree could be from a UK university, studied in Sri Lanka, or it could be a Sri Lankan university, as long as they have a bachelor degree, as long as they have the same grade requirement, 60% in most cases, 60% Sri Lankan in most cases, that is A levels or whatever, and 65% for health science, right? They would become eligible.
Sir, there are a lot of
cases
yes, please go ahead.
Let me just finish. There are a couple of cases, areas where there is some discrepancies, like students doing a diploma, 3-year diploma, all that. That is done on a case-to-case basis, a decision taken by the school. Technically, they should be having 15 years of study or 16 years of study before they can become eligible to do a master's.
Okay, I think that answered my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Pramo. Varana, would you like to ask some question?
I'll ask after Joshi. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about
Sure.
that. Pramo was from Bangladesh, is it? Not
No,
Sri
Pramo
Lanka.
is from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, okay.
Pramo is based out of Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's correct. Mr. Gyanendra, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm normally facing one question always from the students. Why EIT taking so long time for offer letter?
That's partly because you are sending too many applications, my friend. But that's not the real answer. We did have a lot of issues. These are historic at the moment. We don't have to go into the detail, but institutes of technologies in the last 2-3 years have struggled because independent institutes like EIT were all merged together under one single banner by the government, with a banner called Tepukenga. That didn't work out very well. There was a change in the government. The new government has decided that Tepukenga will be closed. We are partially closed, partially under Tepukenga. So there are a lot of barriers coming in because of the red tape that happens. One of the biggest barriers was Tepukenga did not want staff on the rolls, so they sent out a number of staff, mainly at the admissions. We had 14 or 16 people, if I remember right. And till May 2024, we were down to 2, just 2 of them doing the same applications, which was being done by 16. During April, May, finally, after the changes that are happening now with the new government giving us some control over our budget, we have now recruited 10 more people. I just trained them 2 days ago because I was in Napier, and we've got a good team now. And these people, I took a promise from them that for the October intake, we will deliver 24 to 48 hour turnaround for all applications, unless they come with diplomas from Sri Lanka or something like that. Because when an application goes to the school, it will take a little more time. But even then, nothing should be delayed more than 1 week. If it is, please contact me. I will follow up. And we have a team now who can actually do the job. Earlier, I was helpless.
Thank you so much. And I have got one more questions regarding Master of Business Management, Wine Business Management. So, can students from Bachelor in Agriculture or Bachelor in Agriculture Science, they can join this program?
They can join. They are better off to join the Bachelor of Viticulture rather than, wine science is called oenology. Rather than the Bachelor of Wine Science, they are better off to join the Bachelor of Viticulture, because viticulture is more directly connected to agriculture. Agriculture is more generic. Viticulture is the science of growing the grape to make wine. Part of the viticulture program also includes how to make wine. So they're not going to miss that. But the focus will be more on the viticulture side. And there are a lot of jobs in the viticulture area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gyanendra. So next up, I'll just quickly pick up a question from our Q&A session. So, ma'am, I think this is more towards you. How likely is INZ, Immigration New Zealand, to approve visa for someone who is wanting to do second masters?
So I would say if somebody is planning to do a master's the second time, there would be reasons for that decision. So if the intent is genuinely to study, the person would have researched, they would have identified certain skill gaps and realized why is the need to add on the skills to their profiles that probably could lead to career progression. So if they have done all these back-end research work and then decided that yes, they need to do another master's, they would be able to explain that to immigration. And we've seen a lot of applications getting approved. However, if somebody just wants to do a master's because it has a pathway to residence, they have no intent to study, they just want a residence visa, probably they will not meet the requirement of a bona fide student. So for immigration to approve a student visa, you should genuinely intend to study. So if you could plan, definitely a lot of students do a second master's, and that is done with a due diligence. They have researched, they've realized why. So if there is a reason behind doing a master's, definitely gets approved. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Mr. Siva, this one is for you.
I think
I'm
he wants
sorry,
to add
I
on.
see
Yeah.
that yes, Mr. Siva, please
I
proceed.
just thought I'll add a couple of lines to what Vandana said. Almost every applicant who comes to EIT, if I have looked at it, are already got a master's. Okay, they are getting their visas, because where we have had issues is when a student comes with an MBA and applies for a master's of applied management, and like madam said, if they are not able to demonstrate intent, it becomes very hard. But if the student with a general master's degree has now said, I want to do the master's of digital business, I want, because I have got these capabilities, this is what I've learned, this is where I've got the experience, the markets are changing, the world is moving more digital, I don't have the skill sets for that, I need to do this program to take my career to the next level. How you explain it and how you present the case makes a big difference, and in most cases we have never had an issue with getting the visas for them.
All right, thank you for highlighting about how the generic masters, how they need to select the specializations if they're doing a second masters. Thank you. So the next question, Mr. Siva, I'm just going to combine a couple of more questions and make it a one question, because there are quite a few pending over there. So one of the question is for you. What are the application deadlines? Since you did mention there are 4 intakes at EIT, so what are the application deadlines, and are there any changes to the tuition fees for the next year?
Yeah, the second part of the question I cannot answer now. There are changes, as I said. I told you that after the scholarship, there could be a small increase, 1,500 or 2,000. I can't remember exactly. Even if I remember, I can't tell you exactly because it is not confirmed or finalized. But it's going to be about 5% or so increase approximately to the current fees after the scholarship. Okay. There will be no scholarship, so the fee will be the same as before after the scholarship, plus a couple of thousand more. That is likely to be the new fees. This is only for the masters. The bachelor degree, again, small increase, not much of change. And this is the proposal from Tepu Kenga, who control the fee setting at this stage. That might change at the end of the year. And if that happens, things will change in a different manner. So let's not get into the fee setting at the moment. If you apply for an offer for February now, we can give you an offer, but without actually specifying the fee. But it's likely to come up in the next possibly 3 to 4 weeks, the decision on the fees. The first part of the question was, that's the fees.
Deadlines.
Yeah, the deadlines, right. Now, EIT realistically does not have a deadline at all for the applications. For example, we could accept an application today for the July intake, right? But it is impractical and silly to do that simply because Immigration New Zealand is saying we need 8 weeks to process a visa application. The bank system in India and In other countries, it is even worse. Takes minimum 4 weeks to grant a loan. So if you work backwards, you can find a date from where you can say that is sort of the deadline before which you should apply for a visa. Approximately about 8 weeks is what I would say at the moment, right? But we have given offers. For example, we have now stopped offers for July intake, but because of we know they are not going to get the visa, and it's a waste of time making them defer again to October. But in general, we do not stop offers. We stop the offers about 4 to 5 weeks before the start date of the program. Okay. So for October intake now, we don't have any more offers for July. For October intake, literally the deadline could be somewhere around starting of September, end of August.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siva. Thank you for answering that question. So, since we are heading towards the end of our web presentation, I would just like to take one last question, and this would be, ma'am, for you. So, after completing master degree, how can we claim our post-study work visa? Or do we need to have any work offer?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Priyanka. A good question there. So, if you finish your master's, you need to apply for a post-study work visa. So that's not something which is automatically given. You need to make an application within 3 months of your course completion or before your current visa expires, of your current student visa expires. And the requirement for you to be able to do that is you need to complete the qualification that you were initially given the student visa for. You do not require a job offer uh, to apply for this kind of visa. So you don't need a job offer to apply for this visa. And this post-study work visa will also give you open work conditions. That means you can then have this visa, go and work in any employment anywhere, and the employer will not need to support you for working for them. So that gives a lot of flexibility, because a lot of times the students may have the skills, however the employer may not be ready to support them from day one. So that really makes that process a bit easy. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So as we come to the end of today's webinar, I still see there are quite a lot of questions over there, and the questions are pretty unique, if I may say, because even y'all can see that right now. So what we will do is, for all the questions that are pending, we will try to reach out to you via email after this webinar, and but as I can see that we have already ran out of the time, so I would just like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all our speakers for sharing their expertise and valuable insights with us. This session was definitely informative, and I hope all our participants have enjoyed this valuable information that they have received. And remember that the conversation doesn't end here. If you have any further questions or would like to explore the topics we have discussed in more detail, please do not hesitate to reach out to us on our email address, which is contact@nzimmigration.info. We look forward to connecting with you again. And before we just say bye, would the speakers like to say just few words before we end this webinar?
I've got a couple of closing comments. I've been seeing some of those questions too. There are a lot of questions from the Nepali students wanting to understand the education system, how we support them, what is the cultural identity, are there Nepali teachers and whatnot. So some interesting points. I can't talk to them at the moment. As you said, they can always email me later or communicate through you to us. But one thing I can tell you now, Gnanendra ji and Himanshu, I have made the changes in my schedule to be there at your fair. And so therefore, ask all these students to be there. I am there to help them find out all this information. I'll also provide them details of umpteen number of students who have, well, I don't think you can see it clearly, pages and pages of students who have got jobs in different areas, which has been the work that Brendan has done to help them. And we can talk about it when I'm there in person. All right. In between that, if you want any support, don't call me because I'll be traveling. I'd also like to thank the team in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Tanua madam is there. I can see her picture there. And of course, Priyanka and the big bosses at Immigration Advisors for having me here in the first place and giving us the opportunity to present a bit of information on how EIT does things, what programs we offer, and what it is that we would like from you. Okay. So thanks for your support. Thanks for what you do for us, and good luck for the future along with us.
Thank you, Mr. Siva. That was really nice. Ms. Vandana, would you like to say a few closing statement?
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. If you're thinking of studying, if you're thinking of studying in New Zealand, definitely New Zealand has got a lot to offer, not only for quality education, not only for the experience and the kind of work-life balance here, the outdoors and all the activities, but also a very clear path to residence. So do think of New Zealand if you're thinking of studying overseas. Thank you. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you. So thank you, lovely participants. We look forward to connecting with you again in future webinars and events. So until then, take care, stay safe, and goodbye.